Good afternoon. Again from my beloved place on top of my little world. And once again, if my eyes are not looking at the camera, it means they're looking at the lovely horizon just beyond it. Well, another question. How do I square personal ambition with spiritual work? Personal ambition meaning the sort of normal family, money, job sort of things. The spiritual work. Well, the question makes me smile a bit because the questioner uses the word, how do I do this? Which always indicates that spiritual work hasn't really started yet. It's still more theoretical than real. Oh, I know the world is full of books about people who read some spiritual stuff about the marvels of being enlightened. And it doesn't go much further than that. It's just a good read, isn't it? Like a sort of an adventure story, an armchair adventurer. How do I do it? How do I become enlightened? How do I do all these things? Oh, my dear, my dear. How do I start? How do I start to disillusion you? And gently, of course. If you ask yourself the question, what do I really, really, really want in my heart of hearts? What's my real heart's desire? I wonder what you'd answer. Would it really be just a list of personal ambitions, job, money, family, bigger house? I wonder what your answer would be. Look deep within yourself. What do you really, really want? What do you really value most? Here and now, the world's being convulsed by coronavirus, which is a very useful way of bringing us up to ask ourselves the question, what really, really, really matters in this life? We all hear stories of the economy being disrupted and all the things that are going to happen to us, but what really, really matters most? Even if this whole world, the structure of our society disintegrates, and what really matters? Even if we are stricken by the disease and are lying there on what might be our deathbed, what really matters? At that moment, what would you really want? Would you want just to go on breathing a few more days? Or would you consider what you might take with you beyond the grave? When the hustle and bustle of this little life is done, what really counts? What gives a man his true worth? You know, most of progress in the spiritual life, it's not by doing anything or by achieving anything, learning anything. It's really more by eliminating what it isn't, eliminating impediments. And I'll give you a little hint. The only thing really that we need to let go of in this life is, wait for it, limits. The only difference between freedom, this if you like, not only physical, worldly freedom, but spiritual freedom, true freedom, and enslavement in this world is limits. There is no thing to get rid of, no thing to change, not even personal ambition. The thing to change is the limits we put on it, because we tend to think so small. That's the trouble with this life. It just is so small. And we really, as human beings, have got ourselves boxed into something that's too small for us. And that's what causes all this anger and explosion and frustration with life, dissatisfaction. Because we're boxed into an environment that's too small for us. And man's nature, because he's a spiritual being by nature, which means unlimited, he lives in a world of limits. And what is limit? This is limits. It's this. It's holding on. It's this. It's look at my fists. Can you see them in the camera? This is freedom. And this is holding on. This is bondage, imprisonment. Now then, how about making your ambition infinite completion? Or infinite love? Or the biggest of all? God, if that means anything to you. Instead of just dwelling in a bigger house, why not dwell in the universal house? Instead of just getting more money, for God's sake, why not abundance? The abundance of providence, of divine providence. Instead of just having a loving family, why not love everything and everyone? How do we get so small? How can we take it seriously? And then ask a question like, how do I combine both personal ambition and spiritual work? Well, my darling, just take off the limits and the two become one. Let one melt into the other. All you've got to do is just get bigger. If you can come to a place like this, it helps. But even better is if you meditate or find some other effective way of simply expanding. And you'll soon find that this little matchbox ambition of yours, it just isn't good enough. Do you think of how a worm lives? If you bring a worm into the light, what does it do? It crawls back into the darkness again, doesn't it? Now we go through life with a worm's eye view, don't we? We prefer darkness. We prefer prison to be freedom. Little prisons of our personal, this little ego world, me and mine. And all the time, this glorious space is calling us. God calls us. There, have I answered the question? Next question, please. God bless you, dears. Until tomorrow.